Welcome, everybody. And I would like to start by saying that MBA is one of the most sought after degrees worldwide that students and professionals from all walks of life can pursue, be it arts, commerce, or science. Now, the first questions that I always like to answer for all students is why, when, and where? So, why do you study an MBA abroad? Now, most of the top world-ranked business schools are located in UK and US, with a few in Canada, Singapore, and Europe. Universities abroad allow a student to follow their dreams. You could do dual degrees, you could study interdisciplinary subjects within your MBA. But here I would like to say, I share the happiness that now with the new education policy that has been announced by the government, I'm sure that these changes are also going to come here back in India. Now, the benefits of study abroad would not only be the state of the arts facilities or the best professors and clubs, but the most important thing would be having students worldwide as a cohort, as a peer group from whom you actually learn. So, for all, I would say, especially for professionals, all great business startup ideas originate from Campus Connects. Now, it broadens your horizons, you learn people skill, and most important, an MBA abroad will open doors to global opportunities and careers worldwide. Here, of course, the investment is huge, no doubt, but I can say that the return on investment is assured if you make an informed decision, you make a careful decision. There are countries where you can go, where you can study, take a post-study work, and also get a PR. We all know that Canada and Australia are always in everybody's minds because they allow a work visa as well as PR. I'm glad to share with all of you now UK has also started the PR, which they are launching from 2020, and they announced in February 2019. So even if you do your MBA abroad and come back to your home country, you come back with an international exposure and experience. So you will definitely have an edge over the others. Now, when is another very important question. I get a lot of these questions. Is this the right time for me to quit my job and do an MBA? Or should I continue my MBA immediately after my graduation? Well, my answer is, if you are planning to do your MBA in India, do it directly after your undergrad. But if you're planning to do an MBA abroad, please take some work experience. Now, the reason I say it is that abroad, an MBA is basically a degree that is done mid-career, because you learn more from your cohort than you learn actually in your lectures. You learn more from the projects that you do. Whereas in India, the situation is very different. You do your undergrad, sit for the CAT, get into the IIMs or whichever universities and do your MBA and you're good to go. But abroad, it's not so. So if you decide that you want to study management immediately after your graduation abroad, choose an MIM instead. That is Masters in Management. Where, the last is where. Now, I can just tell you it's very simple. You either choose a top university or a top city. It's as simple as that. I will just give you a quick example. Wharton Business School is situated in Philadelphia, which is not the business hub of the world. Okay, but still, if you get a chance to go to Wharton, your career is going to boom. Whereas if you go to Greenwich University, which is a very good university, but may not necessarily be a top university, but it's situated in London. So it is definitely going to give you a lot of leeway. So you either choose a top university or a top city where MBAs are concerned. Now let's go to the next, which is, what is the best fit MBA for you? How do you know that? Well, ask yourself this question. What are your post-MBA goals? This is very important. Do you want to enter back into the industry at a senior position, or do you want to have a startup? Accordingly, you will choose the correct MBA. Now, the ranking and accreditation are of great importance. I want to add here, there are so many different rankings available. You should be very careful as to which rankings you use. It's very simple. For UK, it is the complete university guide that you have to use. For US universities, it is the US news rankings. And for the worldwide Europe, South Pacific, Asia, it is the QS rankings. So this is how you should actually divide it. Now, accreditations, we all know the MBA has an AMBA accreditation, that is the Association of MBAs. But here again, it is only for the work experience MBA or the executive MBAs. The freshers MBA do not get an AMBA accreditation and do not need it either. Now, class profile, you have to check the class profile. If you're applying this year in 2020, check the class profile of 2019. Are there similar kind of students? Are there fresher students? Are there very senior students? So you have to match up your profile with the profile of the class last year before you choose an MBA. And most important, I cannot stress the importance of an alumni network. You must always check the alumni for any business school that you choose, because your references that you're going to get from your alumni are going to go a long way in your business as well as in your jobs. The alma mater is extremely important. Now let's go to the next, which is the important factors in deciding the career path. So I always tell my students, there are three factors. One is your long-term plan. The other is your budget. Third is your profile. Now, long-term plan. It's very simple. You have to decide, are you going there to do the course and come back, or you want to do the course, get a work visa and PR? So you need to choose your country accordingly, according to the rules and regulations on completing the course. 2, budget. You've got to be very careful what your budget is, because if your budget is minimum, you need a budget for living plus a 2-year course in US or Australia of 50 lakhs. If you have it, great. If you don't, then look at other avenues like UK and Canada, because both of them also give you PR. And third, which is extremely important, is your profile. Of course, there are countries which are very liberal, like UK and US. They look at the holistic profile. They will not look at only GPA. So if your GPA is not very great, you could still get into a very good university in both UK as well as US. But Canada, they're very tough. Yeah. So let's go to the next. What does a university want to see in an application? So once you're done with choosing, that yes, you've decided you're going for an MBA, how do you know how to prepare basically? Well, let me tell you, there are 3 most important things in any MBA application. One is your GPA. Please never forget the importance of what your marks are, no matter where you apply. 2, your exams, that's your GMAT, IELTS, etc. And some universities will also accept GRE. And third is the profile. Now for freshers, obviously a profile would definitely just mean doing projects, shadowing professionals, doing internships, writing a blog, taking up a social initiative, maybe making a portfolio in case it is required. But for professionals, it is very different. It would include the kind of budgets you're handling. What is the team size that reports to you? Have you done a project in a full cycle? What are the kind of clients that you are serving? Are they international? So that is the kind of reflection you have to give in your application. Now let me go to the next 2 most important things, that is your essay and recommendation. Let me first talk about the essay. I cannot tell you how important they are in an MBA application, more so because it is basically the make or break of your application. Okay, so an essay is all about why you want to choose this university. You have to do an absolute in-depth research why you're choosing a particular business school. Now, for example, if you wanted to have a startup, you would obviously choose a university which has an incubator cell in it. Like example, University of Manchester, University of Newcastle in UK. And we know Stanford, UMass, a lot of universities in US also have, but you've got to make sure, so you've got to match up what you want to do with the university you're choosing. Okay, so I'm not only going to name the top Ivy Leagues, Boston University, UMass, as I said, they also have incubator cells. Now, supposing you wanted to do finance, okay, Harvard or Wharton or Kellogg are not the only, business schools that are excellent for finance. You have a lot of other business schools in UK as well as US. You have Aston University, you have Exeter, you have Bath, wherein even if you have a first class, you can get in, provided you have a very good profile. And in US, you have universities like University of Florida, University of Illinois. So we can give you all the choices and we can do a complete search and selection for you. So in the essay, you've got to bring all this out. What are your aspirations, who you really are, and you have to demonstrate how the university is best fit for you and how you're going to add to the diversity of the classroom. In the end, for the essay, I would like to say, here is your chance to share what you've not been able to mention in the entire application. So that's the importance of the essay. Let's go to the recommendation. Now, recommendation, again, I feel, as important as the essay, because here is a chance for the business school to review your application through a third party angle. So you have to have an excellent rapport with your recommender. For fresher applications, for either fresher MBA or the MIMs, it is always an academic recommendation, whereas for professionals, both will be work recommendations. So you've got to have excellent rapport, because very often for an MBA, there is a very lengthy questionnaire that the universities will be asking your recommender to fill in. Remember, it has to be a very honest evaluation and not only praise. And how it should also talk about how you overcome your shortcomings. Now let's go to a little. I'll just touch upon difference between executive and a freshers MBA and an MIM. So basically, in executive MBAs, as I said, done mid-career, you need work experience, whereas a freshers MBA is going to be a continuation of your academics. Value in India is definitely higher for a freshers MBA, abroad not so much. I'm not saying you can't do it, but as a counselor, I would not advise it. So whereas an executive MBA would have very high value. Now you have to remember, you're going to put in your time, money and energy. So you have to calculate your return on investment. Therefore, as I said, very informed decision, and know whether you can take a break from your career or not. And if you have very less experience, like within 1 year, then go definitely for a MIM, as you can apply within a year. I want to now touch upon specializations. Next slide, please. So the most common is the general management course. Okay. So of all management, it is the MBA general course, which students learn variety of management skills and perspectives. Okay. In any industry, from human resource to marketing. In international, I'm going to touch upon all these. In international management, a specialized, this is where you actually, it's a specialized MBA in international management is perfect for business students who intend to aspire to work abroad or in multinational companies. An MBA in strategy, here strategy offers an insight into how successful decisions are made. And you learn about business development, consulting, risk management. This is what it is all about. And an MBA in consulting, it is one of the most sought after skills in the business world. And it will empower you to kind of enter into a lucrative industry post your MBA, where you help clients manage their companies more successfully. That is what is consulting. Now, can we go into the next slide? So the finance leadership MBA is obviously for those who are already in the finance field. You may not have a finance degree, but if you have the experience, you can go for it. It is usually done by CFOs, financial controllers, finance managers, and you basically study statistics, analytics, and accounting and more. Now, entrepreneurship is very interesting. I get a lot of students who are interested in MBA entrepreneurship. And if you need help in getting your startup off the ground, you will choose this, or you want to join your family business. It teaches you basically critical management skills, and business development, give you business development skills as well. Now, marketing again is very, very popular. You know, all students who want to go into B2B or B2C businesses look at it as an option. Operations management, we all know it is for those who are looking at supply chain or logistics, you know, where you actually focus on planning, organizing, and managing production to maximize efficiency. The last is, of course, an MBA in IT, wherein, you know, specialized MBA puts an MBA graduate at cutting edge of design and flow of information technology. If you want to learn how to manage data and the flow of data within companies, this is the MBA for you. Now, if you noticed in my slides, I've actually written down all the top 5 worldwide MBAs in these particular specializations. But I don't want you all to feel that these are the only universities. I've just written them for your reference. Basically, you have to choose the university that is best fit for you. Can we go on the next slide? Because I'm going to talk about what is the best fit for you. I've just randomly written down names of some universities. I want to tell you that depending on what your profile is, if you make an informed decision to go to a university that matches your post MBA goals, you are definitely going to make a success of it. I'll just give an example. Like you can see HALT US here. Now, one of my students, Dikshant Kanodia, went to HALT to study his MIM program, Masters in Management, after which within HALT, he did a fast track dual degree in business analytics and managed to get his 3-year OPT as it turned into a STEM course. And today, he's working with Microsoft. In fact, he got his Microsoft offer in COVID times. I have another student. She went to Macquarie to do her MBA. She's very well settled in Australia. I have students in, a vice president of a company here in India who went to Stratellite to do his MBA. He's settled in the UK. So what I want to, we have ISB in India as well as one of the options. So, you know, you have a lot of other university and you can see what is the best fit for you basically. Next, please. So my advice to you, all students out there, is education is the most important, you know, thing that you can actually invest in, where your return on investment is absolutely assured. Your students who are commencing their courses or are midway in courses in 2020 or 21 will actually enter the job market when the entire economic crisis is over, and they will have no problem. Secondly, I would also like to advise all of you to keep all your options over. Even though MBA, IELTS, everything has been waived as of now for 2020-21 admissions, I want to tell you the moment the vaccine comes out, they're going to bring back these exams. So please be prepared and definitely see how you as a student and professional can contribute in COVID time.